Hello, everybody. We're going to be running the original campaign with a sorceress, a sorcerer, or a sorceress. I'm going to offer some quick commentary. So let's get underway and show people the right build to use for one of the best, if not the best build to use for the original campaign. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to be making a sorceress who can cast all the ninth level spells possible in the long run, right? So for starters, we want to pick human. We're going to go about this slowly. Pick any portrait you want, right? So for this one, we're going to put this one. Now we're going to pick sorceress. We're going to go 29 here so we can get 3 extra bonus beats at 29. We're going to go 29 here. We're going to go 10 here so that charisma goes up by +2 after 20, but only after 29 because of the spell resistance being capping at 32. And then when we get a +6 item, we're going to go over here. Lawful good. So let's get underway. Get this underway, shall we? Okay. So for the paladin, so I can get those save bonuses whenever it comes time, lawful good. Now for the sorceress, we're going to go charisma 18. Any other build ever not does that for a sorceress, it's wrong. No races can increase that to +2, so we need Red Dragon's Disciple to do that. Alright. Now, here's the other argument. Do we go Dex? Do we go Constitution for the second score? I always recommend Constitution because that way you can get perfect concentration later, which we need to have a total of 28 modifier. So you can get there faster with a Constitution, and quite frankly, builds with low wizard or sorcerer builds with low Constitution are wrong because you only get 4 hit points max. If you have a -2 with an elf, you're gonna only have 2 hit points. So we're gonna put our Constitution at 16 because we can't add any further. But also, you don't want to go gnome because your most powerful items in the long run are going to be staffs of defense. But we'll get more into that later. Now, for the final build, you can either choose to penny pinch it at 2, thanks to the human bonus, or you can go to this number right here. I prefer, since we're going charisma maxing more so than anything else, we're going to go here. Since in the long run, we don't actually, let me rephrase that. This is real time, people, so pardon me, and I just started. So, we're going to go intelligence 12. Alright, let's get underway, shall we? Configure packages. We're going to watch this. This is why I didn't go dexterity 12. There's concentration because we need that modifier to be at 28. Ooh, wow. It's already 7 of 28. And we haven't even started. Anyways, then the next one, of course, is obviously lore because we need 8 of that for Red Dragon Disciple, but quite frankly, it's a great money saving skill in general. So we're gonna max it, and the max of that is way beyond anything that's achievable without bard levels. So, but we're not gonna do bard levels. But that still just almost gives us the ability in the long run to identify every item in the game. Plus, we'll also have lore later. Anyways, Spellcraft 4, Great for builds of 32. Great for builds for 38 sorcerers. Heck, even you can even use as spellcraft is a prerequisite. It's still good no matter what. Anyways, now we put 2 here. Yes, it's a class skill, and we ain't getting away from it ever. Anyways, but there is a way, of course, if you mix Bard with Sorcerer, but we're not to get the healing spells, but we ain't doing that either. As interesting as that may be, that's not this build. Anyways, next up, what do we start with first? Well, since we're on caster level, we don't need to start with spell penetration. Spell focus is always a gem. Always. But since we can start with 2, I think we should mix and match it. We're obviously making evocation so we can always blast them before they get in, and more on that later. Spell focus evocation, spell penetration, it can help you get some enemies that have more levels and spell resistance early on. Anyways, moving forward. That's the plan for the next feats or 2. Is to max these 2 out. This is necessary for when you're not 32, right? Because to always pass a spell resistance of 32, you need 32 of your specific class levels, arcane class levels. No way around this in Neverwinter Nights. Okay, moving forward. Alright, just to show you why we picked this. Yeah, this may be conjuration, but no save. 1d4 plus 1 cold damage. Look at the rest. 1d3. 1d3. Right? So we go with this one for our single target, and we'll get into build making in a bit, or quick bar making in a bit. Alright, so for the next one, this is one of the most underrated spells there is, and but we're evocation, we have boost to it. We almost will always get this, and it's underrated. It's one of the most underrated cantrips there is, because it requires a fortitude save. Well, luckily we're spellcasting blasting. Pick it. Okay. Here's another one that can work early on, but soon goes away. Like after, I would say, mostly after the first chapter. Yeah, replace this, or you can start now, and you'd be surprised how often you can get this spell on people. Just being a pure caster, you already have that charisma in your corner, making the DC to save against it at 14. A lot of non-magical enemies will not pass it. Get it? All right. Now that we have our zero quick bars, and I'll get into that, let's pick one we can use from right-clicking ourselves. All right. Now, there's a lot of speculation on what should be the first 2 spells. Obviously, Magic Missile, the most powerful of them. Period. Obviously, this one, as this gives us 4 armor, plus 1 in 4 categories. Definitely always great. And when you get dexterity items, stacks perfectly. But these bonuses do not stack, with the exception of the plus 1 dodge. That's as long as you have, that can stack as long as there is not 20 dodge. But you get 20 dodge, so anyways, it's a good way to get plus 1 in 4 categories. Let's get this underway. Alright, here's another selection. So it really comes, a lot of people, well, we all agree on bat, even though now we're going to get into creatures. So Bat is usually a consensus of no. Even though he has an armor of 9-4. A lot of people like Panther, but quite frankly, if we're not getting in front, Panther is not really good with sneak attack. We want a frontliner. You could also, which also brings us to this one: a lot of immunities, fair amount of health, cone of fire. You also got to understand as it says things. So that's another good one. You don't have to work lawful evil, which might work well. Lawful good, lawful evil. They disagree on evil. This one is good for some poison that weakens the fortitude. This one's good for this guy's good. This guy's good for some blasting, but that's what we're here for. A lot of people like this one, and quite frankly, why when all your spells can break all the chest anyways? Even in town, you can just shoot and reset. Shoot and reset. A little bit too much problem. Raven. Alright. People underestimate him, but he has some good... Well, actually, he has some good spot modifiers. If you need somebody to scout, he's going to be good. Fairy Dragon. Gets alertness and move and improve invasion. Pretty good. He's got some pretty good stats on him, we must say. No go on this one. Pseudo Dragon. You'd be surprised how feisty he is. Even though this one has better stats, better damage, just as good health, he's not really that feisty. But Pseudo Dragon, watch this. This one is perfect. Even though the Panther will get up close, but you know what? I haven't seen Hellhound much, and sounds like he's pretty good. Well, actually, he has a +1. I think we're gonna go with him. You're seeing it for me. First time with me. So now we're gonna build the character, except watch this. We're gonna use this. We're actually gonna, now watch this. We're gonna get sorcerer's clothing the first time. Might as well, because they'll give me they'll give it to me twice. Or you could just go with this, the wizard's robe. Okay.
At
done.
my command, attack.
Done. But for these customized, just customize it how you want it. But we're just seeing it in real time here. Alright. I like this one.
Come on.
Play it up.
The fro.
Alright, we're gonna pause here, people. And next up, we're gonna get into that on another video. Anyways.